Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to overview a couple of my snow blowers, how they operate, what they're all about, and some maintenance items. So hope you find it useful. So for this video, I'm going to keep it high level. How to start the snow blower, how to operate it, how to shut it off, basic information. All right, so the first one we're going to get into is the Simplicity P1728. 28 is the width of the barrel, or the mouth, if you will. And just to do a visual look at it, obviously here you put the gas in. Step number one is always check to see that there's fuel. I already did. We know we're full on that. Before the season starts, I check the oil, make sure that's in good shape. No reason to check that. We're good. Back to the fuel. What I like to do is when I'm done for the day is to fill this back up, because the next time I need it, I don't want to have to deal with the gas at that point. Now, this snowblower, as well as the other one, has a feature where I can plug it in and actually start it by pressing this button. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to display that today to make it easier. Just for reference, this pull cord is another way to start it if you don't plug it in. But we're going to show this application today. All right, coming around this way, before you plug it in and hit that button, there's a few things you need to do to prep the machine to actually take the juice. And that relates to getting the fuel into the engine itself. So a few things. One is, this is called a primer bulb, and as you would see here, they tell you to press it or prime it 2 times. So I like to overdo things, so I'm doing it 2 or 3 to 4 times, okay? The second thing you do is, this device here is called a choke. And when a machine is cold, you want to give it as much fuel as possible. It's somewhat waking the machine up. So in this case here, you can see what this is saying. It's really kind of hard to read this. So what I do is I put some labels like this. Here it says when it's hot, you put it over this way. Therefore, when it's cold, you go over this way. So when I start it, I have the choke open, if you will, so that it can get the right amount of fuel when I go to start it. The next, just going from left to right, is the on-off. Again, I put labels on here. On is over this way. Off is here. It says off key. So obviously, I want it in the on position. And then this here is to shut the fuel completely off. That's what you do off season, or to keep it on. So when it's up like this, you can see it actually is being able to flow the fuel in. So I leave that on in that position. So this is in the position where you want to use the snowblower. And this is, think of it as the gas pedal. Okay, so you have a turtle over here, a rabbit over here. Obviously, the faster, the better. So when you go to start it, this is a little hard. I could probably use some lubricant on it. But right now it's in the middle. And when I actually go to use the snowblower itself, I'll put it all the way to the far right side from to get as much power as possible. All right, so at this point, it should be ready to start the machine. We primed it. We have the choke in the cold position. We have the key on, gas is on, and the throttle or gas pedal is kind of in the middle. Now, with the extension cord plugged in, I take this end of the extension cord and I plug it into the machine itself. And I purposely am doing this cold, as if it hadn't started over the past week or so. So now I'm going to hit that red button and keep my fingers crossed it should start okay. There it is. So here's what happened. When you started it, and it started to ramble along, like almost like choking, that means the fuel was too rich, because it's warm outside, so there's really not much warming up it needs to do. So therefore, I put the choke back over. I basically shut the choke off. I put it to where it was hot. And when I did that, you notice the change in the rhythm of the machine. Everything was fine. Then, the fact that it's warmed up, I was able to increase the gas flow, and in effect, put my foot on the gas, if you will, to actually get it going. All right, with the engine off, less noise, I'm going to go through the levers and buttons to actually how to operate the machine itself. So to start, we got this lever on the left, and we got the lever on the right. On the left, as you can see in the picture, this controls the wheels or the drive. So with the machine running, once you go down like this, it will engage the wheels and you'll go forward or reverse. This lever on the right controls the auger, the actual snow blower barrel itself, to actually get the snow off the driveway or wherever you are and shoot it. So this controls, in effect, the front end of it. This is a button here, goes to the front or to the back, will control the chute. The chute will go over this way or go around that way. And, depending on which way you're pressing it, it will move one way or the other. If you wanted to actually move the top of the chute to point it down or to point it up, that's this device here. Obviously, just follow the picture. It'll tell you. Now you watch as I push it, what happens. That chute will adjust. And depending if it's windy or where you want to direct the snow, this is helpful to direct it where you need it to go. This lever up here controls the speed of the wheels. So from 1 to 5, this is all forward direction. 1 is the slowest, 5 is the fastest. When I'm doing my driveway, I like to keep it around 2. Sometimes I'll go to 3. And then if I'm transporting it from one area of the yard to the other, I'll do 5, just so that it goes a little bit quicker. Reverse is a much lower speed. Reverse 1 is the slowest. Reverse 2 is slow. So reverse is good because it's a heavy machine. If you do need to go backwards, the reverse, at least, it's more like a reverse assist. You still have to pull on it. All right, with those basics out of the way, what I'll do is I'll start her up and actually show it operating. There won't be any narration because I just went through it. But you prime it, put the choke on, put the key on. The fuel should be all ready to go. Your gas is kind of midway. I'm going to plug her back in, start her up, and get her going. Now sometimes when you shut off the machine, it'll pop, which is called a backfire. And all that is maybe a little bit of extra fuel that was in there at the time coming out. So nothing to be alarmed by if you hear a bad or a loud pop when you go shut it off. Not a big deal. So that's it for this blower here. Basically the straight and forward operating of it. Next we'll move on to the other one. All right, so the next one is a Craftsman 9 horse 28 inch, same size this way but lower power from the engine standpoint. This has been sitting in my barn, so it's a little bit dusty. I did check the fuel already. I did check the oil. We're good to go. If you did want to check the gas, that's here. And then the oil, a little bit different setup here, but we're good. All right, so on this one, here's where the plug is. We're going to plug that in a little bit. Here's the red button you hit to actually start it. And then on this side, this is the equivalent of a key. Just leave that alone. It's in the on position always. I guess if you wanted to, you could yank that out and it would not start. Or that's one way to, I guess, shut it down. This is your choke. So right now it's all the way to the left, which is if it was hot or ready to run, that's where you would put it. But for start, we're going to put it over to the right side. You can see it's a more white coloring, so it's a richer fuel level there. And then here's your gas pedal. You know, start and stop. Stop is all the way down. So that's the way we stop this one. It's just shut the gas off here. And then here's the primer bowl. So we're going to hit this guy another, I don't know, 2 or 3, 5 times. All right, let's plug it in and see how she starts. All right, plug it in. Give it a little bit more gas. Come up a little bit. Choke I shut down. I'm going to put the choke on a little bit more. All the way down to shut it off. Now on both of these, but I experienced it more here. When you're pressing the red button, it's like turning the key on your ignition in your car. Until the engine engages, you want to keep your finger on that button, but you could have to listen to it, because once you hear the engine firing, lay off that button, because otherwise it could cause problems. So on this machine, the way you work the chute is this lever here. You press the button in, and as you go forward, you can see it controls the top part, up and back. And if you go left to right, it's controlling the chute going left to right. So it's manual, but it's doable. As far as the gears and the speed, same type of thing. We have forward from, I guess, 1 to 6, and then reverse 1 and 2. Pull out, shift up or down, and again, when you engage, depending what speed you're on, the blower will go that direction. Everybody, I'm running out of battery juice, so I'm going to end the video here. You might be asking, why do you have 2 snow blowers? It seems overkill. Why do you have 2 snow blowers? Well, I'll tell you. When you're in the middle of a snowstorm and your snowblower goes down, it was a couple years ago, I had a flat tire in the middle of a snowstorm. Where am I going to get a tire in the middle of a snowstorm? Impossible. Or a share pin breaks, something happens. I picked up this Craftsman blower this summer. I don't know what I say, for $100 or so. Someone was moving out of state, they didn't need it anymore. The machine's in great shape. For $100, it's worth the protection. Anyway, hope you found this helpful. Have a great day.